So for your activity, you're going to be given four graphs that you can see here, and then you're going to be given a table, okay? And obviously there'll be different tables than here, but they'll be the same graphs, okay? Or a different table. So what you're going to do, or what you're going to need to do, is match one of these four graphs with this table. And so if I'm looking at this, if I was working on this activity, the first thing I would do is start looking at the numbers and what's really going on in this situation. And so here at the very top, and each table will show this, it'll say what the situation is. So here I have 20 used cars. Okay, so I know we're talking about used cars. And then the next thing I would do is look at the labels for my table here. And on the left side, I have price in dollars. And on the right side, I have mileage in miles. All right, which makes sense, right? We're talking about used cars and the price of the car and the mileage for the car, how many miles the car has on it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this information in the table. I'm going to start comparing it to each one of these graphs. So I'll start over here on this right graph. So here on the vertical axis, my y-axis, my range starts as low as 2,000 and it goes all the way up to 10,000. Well, that sounds pretty close, right? It's in the thousands. Let's check. So over here, let's see, I have 8,000 or 7,000, 11,000. Wait a minute, I have 15,000 here, 18, 19,000. So these numbers are too big for these. This only goes to 10, right? 18,000 would be up here somewhere. So that doesn't work out very well. It'll be way up here. So that doesn't work out very well. So what we would do is I'll check this one and look at this. Well, these are decimals. These are tiny numbers, right? 1.62. These are tiny numbers. Over here, I have thousands. All the numbers in here are thousands. So this one doesn't work. So let me look at this one down the bottom left. So 45, 25, 84. No, these numbers are too small also. These are thousands. That can't work. Over here, let's see, at the bottom on my x-axis, my horizontal axis, it is in the thousands, but it only goes up to 2,500. So my range is from 1,000 to 2,500. That is too small also. Even though it's thousands, I have numbers that are 19,000 over here, and I have numbers over here that are 121,000, way bigger than these numbers. So this one doesn't work either, okay? So as I go through, what I can do is I can start deleting the ones that don't match, okay? So I know this one up here doesn't match. I'm going to click on it. So I have the selection tool clicked. I clicked on it. And then I can click this trash can right here and it'll delete it. All right. Now the key is you need to make sure to select your select tool again. I know this one down here didn't work. I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to click the trash can and delete it. I'm going to click my select tool, select the graph. Notice it's highlighted, and then click the trash can and delete it. Okay. And then I'll go back to my select tool. And this one, I can move around wherever I want, okay? So now I'm pretty sure it better be this one, right? Let's look at our range. So for our vertical axis, our y-axis over here on the left, it goes from 6,000 up to 21,000. Okay, let's look. So is it this side? Let's see, 121,000. This only goes to 21,000. This goes to 70,000, 126,000. But what about this one? Let's see, 8,000. Okay, that works. 19,000. That still works. Yeah. Oh, even this one. This is 20,998. That's still less than 21,000. So all the numbers in my price column here of the table fit into my vertical axis. Over here, my y-axis from 6,000 to 21. Okay. So let's confirm and make sure. So my x-axis, my horizontal, goes from 0 up to 150,000. So I think my biggest number here is just 126,000. So that would work. All these numbers would fit into this range here in our x-axis. All right. So it definitely is this graph. All right. So now once you've figured out which graph you want, what you're going to do is start answering questions. So let's see. First question is, what is the x-axis? Okay. So for this graph, what is the x-axis? So what would I type in here? And you'll just type it in down here. That's fine. You can type down here. But what is it? Is it going to be price or mileage? Well, we already kind of talked about it. It went from 0 to 150,000, and it was what fit in there were my miles, my mileage. So I'd come down and say, this is my mileage This is my mileage in miles. Okay. And then obviously, right, if that was miles, then my y-axis, my vertical axis here has to be my price in dollars. And it shows you right up here, price in dollars, right? So for my y, what is my y-axis? What is my vertical axis? And that's going to be price in dollars, all right? And then our next question, see, as the mileage increases, what happens to the price? Well, let's look. Okay, so we know our mileage is down here at our x-axis. Let's see, as it increases, so as it gets bigger and bigger, so we have 30,000, 60,000, all the way up to 150,000. What's happening to our information here? Well, let's see. At lower mileage, we have high prices. Look at this. This one is 21,000. These are roughly what? 17,000 all in here, right? Each one of these is a car. So these cars cost about 17,000 and they have low mileage. But look at these cars down here. These cars down here have high mileage. They have a lot of mileage and their price is low. And that makes a lot of sense, right? That the more mileage is on a car, the less it's going to cost because it's been driven around a lot, right? These cars over here, this car right here has barely been driven, right? It's probably only got like 100 miles on it. So it's barely been driven. So its price is a lot higher than the cars down here. Okay. So what we could say is, and we have our Stinnett stem, so I'm going to use it. As the mileage increases, the price, the price decreases, right? It goes down. The price decreases. And we could see that happening, right? As it increases, we see the price go down, down, down. Okay. And then our next question is the graph trending up or down and how do I know? Okay, well, trending. So remember we kind of talked about trending is just what's happening with the graph in general. And we read our graphs from left to right like a book, right? So we start on the left side, we go over and see what's happening, all right? So we already talked about as the mileage increases, our price decreases. So we can kind of see that our graph is going down, right? It's going down. If we read it like a book, left to right, it's going down, all right? So our trend, our graph, so I could say I know, and I'm just using my Stinnett stem, that the graph is trending. The graph is trending, and I'm going to say down. The graph is trending down because, so I know this. How do I know this? I know this because as the mileage, right, and we just did this, as the mileage increases, the price decreases, right? And so that shows me that the graph is, or tells me that the graph is trending down. And then our last question here is explain why you chose the graph for this graph for the table. So why did we choose this graph? What was it about this graph? Well, there are a lot of things, right? It's one, the ranges of the numbers for our axis were correct. They fit. So this was 0 to 150. This was 6 to 21,000. So they fit the numbers in our table, right? It made sense with the numbers in our table. Also, we knew that we found out the x-axis, the y-axis. We understood that as the mileage increased, the price decreased. We also understood that the graph was trending down. Look at the graph. It's trending down, okay? So we can add all of that information into our response here. I chose this graph because, and fill in your information, all right, for that final question. Thanks.